This video is going to show how to input grades when using an OSN, so Outstanding, Satisfactory, Needs Improvement Grading Scale. So you will go to the Gradebook tab, and then go to Post Grades and select your component and your assignment. Now it brings up this, someone already has some information in here, but I want to talk through some things first because I'm seeing something that might be making that struggle. So basically when you give it a score, this right here, this score line, the database really needs a correct number to represent their effort. We know that they are getting a letter grade, an O for outstanding, an S for satisfactory, and an N for needs improvement, but the database cannot figure out how to average those letters unless you give it a numeric value. Because like first semester, say they get an O, second semester they're struggling a little bit and they get an S, and then third semester they're doing better, so they're getting, or I mean third quarter, sorry, in quarters, but and then third quarter they're doing better, so it goes up to an O again, and then fourth quarter it has back at an S. Well, it needs to figure out what is their average to give them an average grade for the whole year. So I want to show you something. So you're going to need to put in a score. So we'll say they got a 90. Okay, while I was playing around with it more, I realized that no maximum score had been submitted for this assignment. So that's one thing we need to start with, is when you're setting up an assignment, even if you're just going to give points for participation, whether it be 100 points or 1 point, whatever it might be, you do need to give them a max score. You do want to give them more than one so that you have enough room to bring their grade down to different levels. So we're going to give a max score of 100 for this, and then we're going to save the assignment. So now this student right here is showing all of the kids have a score of 0. So that's what we need to address. We need to change that. So this kid has an O for outstanding. So they could receive, I'm going to start by, there we go. So they got a score of 100. All right, I'm learning more and more as I go and explore these inputted grades, so we're going to be able to talk through lots of different examples for this. Okay, so another thing I noticed is that this override square is marked, and we really don't need those override squares to be marked because we want the database to do the calculations that it's designed to do. We just need to be able to put in things correctly and accurately. So I'm going to show you some more things. So first we need to start by unchecking these override boxes. I have taken a screenshot of the students' grades so that if we do need to make any changes, we have the original copy. But so we need to start with that. Okay, and then I did play around because it had zeros here before. And it was an override. When override is marked, you literally have to fill in every single box, which you do not want to have to do. So she had an O for outstanding for this student, so you need to put in 100. It's worth 100. They've received 100. And when you click down onto the next line, it puts a grade of 100 and a letter of O. And then this student also had an O, so you put in 100. This person also had an O, put in 100. This person has an S for satisfactory. Now I want to show you something. So we'll put in a 90. That's still in the O range. Put in an 85. That is now in the S range. So 87 is still in the S range. 88 is still in the S range. 89 is in the S range. It's at 90% that they enter the O range. Now this is where it becomes important to put in the correct value of that S. So is that S just barely an S? Like, do they have like a 70 or just barely an S? Or are they closer to the are they closer to the almost to an O? So this right here is where you need to figure out the percentage. Was it a low S, or was it a high S, almost to the O thing? So I'm going to leave this one blank because I do not want to put in an incorrect grade. Obviously, all of these really need to be looked at to make sure that they really are on the high end of the O's. Then this fake student obviously doesn't have a grade, and then we will put in all of that. So now you could add a comment right here and put that in there as well, so that you can keep track of why it was a struggle or whatever it might be. But again, you do need to always set up a maximum score on each of your assignments. And then you don't want to use this override. You want to put in their score, just their percentage. The letter will follow. So 0. I'll make sure I'm right about that. So 0 to 69 is an N, needs improvement. A 70 to an 89 is an S. And then a 90 to 100% is an O for outstanding. Okay,